Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back here for some Ask Rob Anything here on Friday, the 21st of February. And boy, have we got a jam-packed week going on or what? We will, I'm sure, today talk about the traders, Deal or No Deal Island, and much, much more as we are headed towards the Survivor 48 premiere. I am headed for a busy weekend myself. I am going to be headed to New York tomorrow, one night only. I'm going to be attending a special event in New York. They're having the Survivor Beach Drop, and then they're having a event in the evening screening of the Survivor 48 premiere. And so I'm going to be headed there to go and be a part of that and be in attendance for that. And so very much looking forward to that. So it's been a busy week leading up to that. We had, I don't know if I've talked about this on any of the podcasts, we had snow here in Raleigh on Wednesday. And there was about midday on Wednesday, there was going to be some snow falling. So the schools got ahead of it. Cancel school on Wednesday. It was President's Day on Monday. I don't know if everybody knows that. So it was a 3-day weekend. My kids went to school for one day, and then let's cancel school Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 5-day weekend. Woke up early this morning to go get a haircut before I go on my trip. I go to a place, it's called Great Clips. The name said, forget Super Cuts. I go to Great Clips. And they open at 8. I told Anthony, who was home from school, hey, Anthony, I'll buy you bagels. Dad's going out this morning. I go to Great Clips. Nobody's there. It's snow time. Nobody has to work except for me. Bagel store closed. There's no snow anywhere on the road. It's completely clear. 3 days we're down for 2 inches of snow. Looking forward to chatting with everybody here today. We'll take your calls. Talking about all sorts of topics.
Are you okay, Rob? I just wanted to make sure. You good?
No.
Okay. Well, whoops. Sorry, guys.
Here with us is Derek. It's been a wild week. Okay. Here is our patron experience manager. Derek is here.
Hello,
Derek,
hello.
How are you?
Oh, I'm still.
Did you ho me?
I don't know. I no.
Yeah.
It's not Christmas, Rob.
Okay. It
Hello,
sounded like a
hello.
ho.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
I'm doing
Okay.
all right. I'm a little traumatized after last night's Traders episode. If I'm being honest, it was a sad night.
It was a sad night, and I'm sad for Carolyn. I'm thrilled
Yeah.
for Danielle. I'm very happy. I think that I can hold these two things in my. I don't have to pick a person. I
Yeah.
love Danielle Reyes since
yeah.
2002. I love Carolyn. Like we were entertained. It was epic.
Yeah. My heart hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a great episode, but I'm hurt, and that's
okay.
it.
Derek has a new episode of the Patron Pulse out. You want to, out this week. Derek, you want to tease the Patron Pulse?
Yeah, definitely. We talked just a lot about RHAP local events happening all over the country. So if you filled out that form, if you're looking to get connected, if you're looking to join a Survivor premiere party in your city, make sure to check out that Patron Pulse for info on things that we're doing around the country. And then everyone else who filled out the form is going to get an email from me today to connect you with other people in your city. So if there's not like a big event happening, but maybe there's 3 people in your city that filled out the form, we're going to link you guys up so you guys can figure something out together.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Anything else on your mind, Derek?
I mean, we got after party tickets.
After party tickets are going on sale. We're gonna do a patron post about that
for Boston.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. And then if you're
and I know the guys were waiting for me to sign off on that. I'm sure it's fine. If there's anything that needs to be corrected, we'll correct it. Okay. Sam, do you want to come on? Do you want to say anything?
Yeah. When you see it go up, grab them quick because, we tried to find as big of a bar as possible, but it is not as big as the theater.
Yeah, we have to try to keep the after party to a minimum. The issue is we get these venues, these theaters. The theaters are great. The theaters seat. I mean, the Boston Theater has. I'm wearing my RHAP Boston shirt from 2017. The theaters hold what 670 people. Okay, great. Bar does not. So that's the issue. So we want to try to prioritize getting the patrons into the after party. We want to make sure that we get the people who want to be there. Some people have to work the next day. Some people are like, okay, I just want to see the show. So we're going to put the after party tickets online. I think it's $10 for the after party. It's not like that we're making big money on this. We're just trying to have it so we're holding the spots for the people that want to be able to do it. We're going to do the event on Tuesday night also. We don't charge the patrons anything. You just have to be a patron to come to Tuesday night. We don't have that scheduled yet, right?
We have it scheduled. I got to do one more phone call on that, but we're pretty much set, and I think the location's already
Derek, release the hounds. You could post that one during the show, the patron after party tickets, but then hopefully people won't be too distracted to listen to what I have to say.
And then also, I will say any patrons that are still holding out on tickets for the live show, I would say act on that sooner than later, because I believe we're going to release to the general public next week, and I don't anticipate those lasting a long time.
Okay.
And it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, we're going to sell out for Boston. All right. Yeah. You're a sellout, bro. Okay. That's what we said to the live show. Yeah. All right. Then, Derek, anything else?
That's it. Nothing else today. Just enjoy the patron call-in show. Everyone have a great time, and I'll be listening.
Okay. Thanks, Derek. Okay.
All right. See ya.
Also this week, we had Australian Survivor 3. Are you caught up, Derek, on Australian Survivor? Okay, hold on. Yes,
Sorry, I thought you were done with me.
I didn't take you. Sam took you off.
I took myself off because
you took yourself off. Okay.
I thought you were like, all right, done with you.
Yeah.
I'll hang out as long as you want.
I'm just saying, you're caught up on Australian Survivor?
I am. It's been fun.
We have the links for Australian Survivor. If people want to keep up with it, go to robhaswebsite.com/international for that. Of course, shout out to the great Mark Percy, who helps us get all of that every single day. So if you want to keep up with all of Shannon's zippy coverage, I got to be the guest with Shannon on Wednesday after she did zippy recaps with Chappelle and Puya and Mike Bloom all week long.
Yeah, I was very proud. Very proud of Shannon. Sticking to an hour.
Yes. Okay. All right, Derek, I'm going to get to the calls now, okay?
All right. Enjoy it. See y'all.
Bye. Okay. All right. Let me say hello to somebody I haven't talked to in a minute. John is here. Hey, John. How are you?
I'm doing great, Rob. Great to talk to you. It's been too long.
Great to talk to you, too. And happy 50th anniversary of SNL to you.
Thank you. Did you get to watch the show?
I did. I didn't finish it. I watched about 2 hours live. I watched a lot of the music show from Radio City. And then I watched about 2 hours live on Sunday night, and I haven't finished it yet. I saw some other clips after the fact also.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was actually at Radio City, and that was nuts. One of the greatest concerts ever. And then I ended up doing the red carpet for Sunday for the 50th, which was incredible.
That's amazing. John, just in case people don't know what we're talking about, do you want to just give the pitch for what you're up to?
Sure. Yeah, I'm the host of the Saturday Night Network. It's just a community of SNL fans, similar to reality fans here at RHAP, people who love Saturday Night Live.
And you get such great access. They're really tapped in. It's really incredible what you built.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, no, I always told you you're a big inspiration, so I appreciate that. It's great to get to see you. First of all, I wanted to call you and say hello, but also tell you that I'm in mourning over Dr. Will not being on Deal or No Deal Island anymore.
I know. It's such a bummer. And he says he's retired. He says that
I don't believe him.
That's it. I just
I don't
know what the
believe
right
him.
venue would be for him.
I don't know, but I wanted to, I want to tell you, I listened to the whole interview you did with him, and that was like an absolute dream. And I know that there's stuff like you still can't talk about, logistically how that all came together. But for me,
I hope you have better results over at NBC than I've had with some of this stuff. But
it's still tough.
Yeah, not easy. And yeah, the Dr. Will saga maybe is over, but maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know, but I wanted to tell you, like, hearing you talk about him being an inspiration to you when you applied for Survivor, and I guess at first Big Brother, yeah, he's like the one that got me into reality TV. Just like his self-confidence and like dynamic energy and just his personality being so unique. Like it was just so like I feel like that gave me confidence as a younger person, and just to like I honestly never thought we would ever see him again competing on television. So the last few weeks of seeing him, it just gives me so much joy.
I've done a lot of reflecting on Dr. Will and my conversation with him. And honestly, I don't even remember what's in the podcast and what's not in the podcast. But just in thinking about this, and this kind of like was in, this conversation I had with Shannon the other day about her sparkly people. I think that what is so great about Dr. Will and what he was always able to do is that he, first and foremost, is looking to entertain himself. And by entertaining himself and doing what is going to be the most fun for him, that's the thing about him that makes us all have fun watching him. Maybe it's not fun to be around him as a fellow human being always, but that when he is going to try to do what is going to be the most possible entertaining thing for him, like that's what makes him so fun to watch.
Well, it was crazy that there's like an entire generation of people that have not seen him on television, so they just don't get him. But if you have seen it, if you watched his seasons and you sort of like grew up with him, then it's amazing to see that he really hasn't changed. He hasn't been like jaded. Like he's jaded in his own way because he's just Dr. Will, but he hasn't like changed from like the years of praise. And I agree with you. I think he has like that unique personality. And the truth is like Deal or No Deal is such a game of luck that like he could have ended up winning the whole thing. Like there was no like jury voting for him. He could have just like found a path, and that would have been incredible.
I don't know why you didn't play the banker.
I don't know. That to me was tough. And then also, I mean, Danielle Reyes, I mean, I know you're a big fan. I'm a pretty big fan of her as well. And I was listening to you guys talk about her last night on Traders, and we could talk about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So she, I know you guys are giving her a lot of praise. I'm finding her like so different than when she was on Big Brother.
Well, she had said, I saw a TikTok that she had done talking about that. She was like trying out a different character here on the Traders than she was on Big Brother.
Okay. Yeah. Cause it's just weird. Cause like seeing, it's a different show, but seeing Dr. Will like being exactly who he is. And then Danielle, I like don't remember her like this.
She's doing a different bit. Like this is like a totally different Danielle. This is Danielle like coming in as sort of just like very emotional grandma. This is her new character.
It's very fascinating. But,
it's like somebody on SNL that does like an impression. It's like, okay, there is like, some there's some shared DNA between like Gilly and the Target lady, maybe. But there's like it's the two different things.
Same writer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two different characters. But yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. But I know you got a lot of people on, so it's great to catch up with you, Rob. And I'm gonna try and come to Boston to say hello to you. And
that'll be awesome. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, John, thank you so much, and always great to hear from you.
Yeah, great to speak to you.
Congratulations on everything. Look that John does such a great job with SNL and treats it like with that. That's the great thing about like we can't do for like all these other shows like what we're able to do for Survivor and Big Brother, but John really gets that and does that for Survivor, for Saturday Night Live, and really works with the community and everything. And so if that's something you're interested in, definitely check it out.
That means the world. Thank you so much, buddy.
Okay, take care, John. Bye.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and let me say hello to Lily. Okay. All right. Hi, Lily. How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome.
It's a hard day for the Carolyn fans, but I haven't called in before, so I'm happy to be here.
Yes, and it's a hard day for Carolyn fans, but also I hope it's not lost in the shuffle. Carolyn did amazing. Like Carolyn, unfortunately, like isn't going to win the show, but Carolyn is, I think, elevated so much by the traders where, you know, they're going to do that list of the end of the year. I forget who does it, of like the 50 most important women in reality TV. Like Carolyn's going to be on it. Like Carolyn is just like just on another level that she wasn't on before the traders. And, you know, Carolyn's going to do amazing things post traders also.
Yeah, I'm just happy. I'm happy that she has like this whole new audience now, but last night was rough.
Last night was rough, but you know, it wasn't like that. Oh my God, what an embarrassing defeat for Carolyn. I mean, she got bested by Daniel Reyes, who like set like the perfect trap for her. So it was looking so good for Carolyn. And kudos to the editors of the traders who made it look like, okay, Danielle is headed to a certain doom. Carolyn is headed towards like nobody can stop her. And for those two things to intersect in the way they did last night, I said it on Twitter that I think that we were just like, I said, I was so privileged to get to talk about it, but I think we were all just so blessed to get these reality moments of these two icons. And somebody said in my mentions, like, Carolyn's not a, you know, reality TV great. I'm like, oh, she is now.
Yeah, I mean, it like cemented her legacy.
Yeah.
So my question is a trader's question, but it's like a 2 weeks old trader's question because I haven't been able to call in. So I want your help figuring out sort of a silly mystery that I'm trying to figure out. So I do wardrobe for theaters. So I don't have like film and TV experience, but I know a little about how costuming works, and I'm very attuned to it in these shows, which in Traders is like so fun because the costumes are amazing. But the episode 2 weeks ago where they like dump bugs and sawdust and all sorts of crap all over these like beautiful red like couture garments.
Yes.
And then like at the end of the episode, they're in the people who were shortlisted are in the church. And all of their stuff looks like perfectly clean and just as gorgeous as it did at the start of the episode. And I know you don't know for sure, but I'm just curious of your thoughts on how they pulled that off from what you know.
If I had to guess, I think that they probably had like multiple versions of those outfits.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but then you don't know who's going to be on the short list. And you would have had to have those costumes ready like before just that day.
I think they have a big budget, and I think that they sort of like, you know, they know everybody's sizes and everything. And so,
that's true.
Yeah, maybe they have a tailor on site. Yeah,
I wonder if they had like interchangeable pieces that then they like, as they got closer and figured out who actually was going to be in it, they like, altered it to fit those exact
Considering
people.
that they have like wardrobe is such a big part of the show, I'm sure they have a very expansive like wardrobe budget.
Yeah, someone said the wardrobe budget that they give to the individual players is quite small. So I wasn't sure if that was an indication that it's small overall, but it might be that they don't give the players much so that they can have a lot of it for this type of stuff.
Yeah. I think also that a lot of the players, I think, get a pretty decent payday to show up. So if they're like, okay, we're not giving you that much money for clothes, but we gave you $50,000 to be on the show.
Yeah. I was saying like if I was like the wardrobe person who got handed like a suit that had just had like bugs crawling all over it and was like asked to clean it.
Yeah, I bet they throw it right in the garbage and then they have another one ready to go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I really feel like that when they come out of that thing, it's like, do they have like a shower or something like in the field for them before they get in the car?
I was like shocked that then they kind of made it look like they just like went right into the mansion, but like I'm sure they didn't, because like who wants to be like,
it seems like that they do all of it in like one day, and it's a long day and they don't have a ton of time like at the castle.
Yeah.
And it seems like that they're sort of like doing like their meal and also strategies at the same time.
Yeah, I feel bad for them.
Mm-hmm. So,
but they're getting money for it. So
yeah, they're paid well. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Lily, great to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rob.
Okay, take care. Bye. Okay, let's see. Let me say hello to. How about Dan? Hey, Dan, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Rob. How are you?
Doing great. What's happening?
Not too much. So 2 weeks ago, I ranted on here like a lunatic defending Danielle's traitor game, and I feel very vindicated today.
Vindicated, yes.
But anyway,
I'm happy I never got too low on Danielle's traitor game. I think that what I said was like, okay, well, it seems like she has a good reputation in the house. I did say I thought that maybe it was a misfire to make her a traitor. I think that maybe she would have been a great faithful, but look at her now.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing well. And I think the problem is people love Carolyn so much, and Carolyn's just so likable, and like she kind of went against Carolyn, so it's easy to like put Carolyn in the protagonist role and Danielle in the antagonist role of that relationship.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are also defensive over Carolyn. I think that Carolyn is also a very relatable character. I think that Carolyn's whole ethos is like, I'm weird, okay? I don't fit in. Nobody listens to me. Like, I think a lot of people are like, yeah, that's it. I'm weird. Nobody listens to me. Like, I'm
Right.
Carolyn. So I think that she really just comes off as somebody that people can really feel like that they vibe with her.
Yeah.
And so I think, so a lot of people have not liked the way that Danielle approached it and felt like it was a little bit more character assassination. But look, she did what she had to do. It's the traitors.
Yeah, results oriented. She's doing better.
Yeah.
I do think Danielle's in trouble for the reunion. I think the Bravo
but
people.
But you know
gonna,
what else?
Yeah.
You know who I used to hear that about? Also, Sari. It's like,
I know.
well, Sari was supposed to. She said she was my friend, and she was a traitor. Like,
yes. Well, speaking of Sari, that actually brings up my one of my questions here. It has to do with your interview with Boston Rob, which was a great interview,
Yes.
very entertaining, great. Do you agree with his disgusting assessment that Sari's winning game should be dinged a little bit because of they're like half civilians or whatever?
Did you say his disgusting?
Yeah, it's a bit of a leading question.
Well, I mean, I don't think that Rob should make that assertion because I think that if you go back to his winning game on Survivor, where he was a returning player for the fourth time against people who had never played the show before. So I don't think that that's necessarily like if anybody shouldn't throw stones at Sari's win on the Traitors, I think it shouldn't be Rob.
100%. I think with both stories, I think it's a story of really good wins, not necessarily stupid
Yeah,
players.
a win is a win. Like, he told Michelle Fitzgerald that when in Winners at War, that him and Michelle were talking, and Michelle talked about it, and she brought this up on the Social Game podcast at one point about that Rob said to her, "Hey, who cares? A win is a win." So Boston Rob shouldn't be trying to take Sari down a peg.
Yeah. Maybe he's not thinking as well, and he's not throwing the ring on a string.
Maybe not.
All right. Last really quick question. As I get more involved with this community, I'm continually intrigued by your grace and involvement with fans. I think as demonstrated like with these calls, as demonstrated with different events that you guys have, and demonstrated with like Andy's deep dive. The first thing he says to you is not like, "Oh, Rob, I've been a big fan." It's, "Oh, Rob, we've known each other for years," which is like flips the whole fan dynamic on its head in my view. So I was intrigued to hear like your how that dynamic with fans evolved for you and like your philosophy around fandom.
Well, Dan, that's a really interesting question, and I think that maybe it comes from my journey with this thing where I was a fan, I went on the shows, I had my experience, I went away from this thing, and then at the time that I came back to it, I really, did not really, consider myself to be like anything other than just like, hey, like I'm basically, a guy that used to be on the show. Nobody cares about me. And here I am. And it wasn't necessarily like I'm here and here are all my fans. Is like, no, I happen to do this thing, but we're all just the same as people who care about this thing that we have a passion about. And so I love the back and forth with the community. I mean, I think that that's the most fun part of this thing. When we build out the schedule with Sam and the whole team, one of the things I've really discovered is like when the shows that like people are listening to and we have like a back and forth with the community and people are saying that they're listening and I'm getting comments and feedback, like that's the stuff that really I get energized by that. But like doing the same exact podcast and nobody is talking back and I'm getting no feedback, like that's the stuff that drains me. So this is really like the lifeblood of this thing is the, getting the back and forth with the community. And, I think we'd make a nice podcast on this network. And I think we do a good job with our podcasting, but I really think that the thing that's the secret sauce and what's made RHAP successful is how we connect with the audience and, get the audience connected with other people who share those interests. And that's really what it's about. So I love getting to talk to everybody. I think that these calls are so fun and I love getting out to go out and see everybody at the live shows. So it's really just such a big part of what we do.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun on this end too. That's what, being part of it makes it so intriguing and fun. And anyone on the fence should just become a patron. And
yeah, thank you so much, Dan. I really appreciate that. And, and going back to the Andy thing, it's like that. I don't know, like in 2 years, you might be on Survivor. I don't
know. No. My wife doesn't want me leaving the house for too long. My brother, he would be
but
good. Okay.
That's the crazy thing where, in the Facebook group, we might have like, 13 future Survivor players that we don't even know yet.
Right.
I didn't know Rachel was a patron.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that all these people were, were out there, I had no idea Asia was going to be on the show one day. I had no idea Andy was going to be on the show one day.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. And that's just the patrons, not even mentioning the listeners.
No, 100%. It's really a cool and interesting community.
Yeah, I know that Omer was lurking for all these years.
You should have seen him coming. Yeah, right. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't want to take up more of your time, so
okay. All right, Dan.
I appreciate your chat and your
thank you so much, and take care. Okay.
You too.
Bye. Okay. Let me say hello to Ben. Ben, how are you?
Hey, ho ho ho! How's it going?
Ho ho ho! Ben, it's February 21st. No ho ho hoing.
Q might have canceled Christmas, but it's rescheduled, baby. Let's bring it back.
Yeah. Okay. So what's going on, Ben?
Doing good. Long time listener. Long time great clips user. So
yes.
Had to get on. Yeah. Had to get on to defend my local haircut.
What are you defending them against? Them being closed this morning when I tried to go there?
Everybody makes mistakes. I guess I'm not not a big defender. I guess
there's a good great clips and there's a not so good. Nicole takes the kids to the not so good great clips. Okay. I go to the good one.
It's okay clips.
Yeah, it's just okay clips.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping to throw some ideas at you about the traders format. Because I think a lot of fans kind of have a little bit of a problem with it.
Yeah.
I think they should make two changes. I don't think they're going to make either. The first change is, I think, like how you accumulate money. I don't think it should be through challenges. I think it should be through getting traders out. I think that if you attach like a sum of money, like $50K or $100K to each trader out, it both incentivizes the players to actually look for traders early and late in the game.
Yeah.
But I think it could cause drama within the turret as well, because if traders are all lasting for long periods of time, they might start looking at each other like, hey, we need to get this pot up. I think that makes the end game a lot more dramatic too, because once you stop knowing if they're a trader, it kind of creates this drama like we need to get the pot up. And then the second change is then what do you do with the challenges? And I would say that my idea is that it should be much more shield focused. And I would love if they incorporated a new aspect to the game. I think it like something that would protect you from banishment for that night, kind of like an individual immunity challenge, like a pardon. Maybe that's what they could call it. Something along that lines.
Protects you from banishment.
Yeah. So new aspect like that. Obviously, the game takes inspiration from a game like Mafia, and so maybe you can incorporate like the ability for somebody to choose who gets a shield that night.
Yeah.
Like a nurse would, and doctor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So aspects like that, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that maybe if you were going to do the prize money differently, I think that maybe you need like a trader's pot and like like where every time that you didn't vote out a trader, like you're adding money to the trader's pot, and every time you vote out a trader, you're putting like $50,000 into the good guys pot.
Wow, I think that's very interesting. Yeah, I would love to see them mix up the format. I don't know if they're gonna go for that, but yeah, just something to think about.
Yeah, it seems like that the international versions are a little bit like the cutting edge of the first frontier of where these changes are going to happen. So keep an eye out on the international versions. And then ultimately, it seems like that maybe the US gets these things last. So, I have not been following the international versions as much as Puya does, certainly. I mean, nobody has, but we'll see. I liked what Tony said about that if the trader gets voted out, the traders don't get to murder at night. I think that that's also a good tweak.
I think that could work too. I just think money being attached with the challenges is just so anticlimactic.
Yeah, who cares? The money is going to be about $248,000 no matter what happens. And, we're really just sort of just playing out the string with these challenges.
Yeah. All right. Well, the last thing I'll leave you with is my suggestions for traders in the future.
Yes.
I think Rupert needs to come back for the traders.
It would be so bad.
That's what I want. I think characters over strategists are what the traders needs and what they should be going for. Ultimately.
But Rupert is just so one level. Like he's almost like on like that Tom Sandoval level. Like I feel like maybe.
And who's the best character this season? Well, who's the standout character this season?
You're saying it's Tom Sandoval?
Yeah,
I think that Tom Sandoval is a good foil for like people like Brittany to be able to talk about. I think Coach would be great. Like I think you want people that are a little bit like going to do more with it. I think that Carolyn was a really inspired choice, but I think that those type of people that are just like a little bit more of like a quirky character as opposed to just sort of like Rupert is just almost like a cartoon. Like I just. Like he's so just like one level.
Okay, I see it. Also, I think Nina Diaz Twine is a shoe-in for the show.
Yeah,
loved her on Anonymous.
I can see that. Yeah,
I think she's an obvious pick for a future season. But
yeah. Okay. I
see
Angelina in the chat. That would be a good one.
Christian Hibiki. Oh my goodness. Yeah. There's some great picks out there. I can't wait to see what they do.
Okay. All right, Ben. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye.
See you later.
All right. Let's go to, let me see, some Jordan. Jordan, how are you?
What's up, Rob? How you doing?
Doing great. What's happening?
Not too much. I'm sure you don't remember me, but I was actually part of the original RHAP intern group.
Yes. What's your last name, Jordan?
Alper, Alper.
Yes. Okay.
Circa 2010, 2011.
Jordan, what have you been up to?
A whole lot. I live here in New York. I work in music, and I actually fell off of Survivor, fell out of the whole world for a long time, and then I think like many others in the pandemic got back into it, got back into RHAP, and was kind of blown away to see how this community has developed into this much.
Can I share just with the listeners like what the intern group was? And back in I don't know if it was quite 2010, maybe 2011 that I said, I need some help with, and boy, do I still need some help with putting together everything from the shows. And a lot of it was based on talking about what was happening on social media. And Josh and I on the patron feed have been chronicling the 15-year anniversary of Survivor Heroes versus Villains. And I went back and I listened to one of those early podcasts, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. The Survivor's happening, and people are talking about it on social media. And I think that was a big part of what I needed help with, was like, hey, can we see if we can round up everything that the survivors are saying on social media? And I need some help with doing that. And I put out a call, and we have a Facebook page now, but the Facebook page used to function a lot more like a group, and people could just like post there. And I found probably like ultimately like maybe like 40 to 50. And it seemed typically these were young people that wanted to help me with this. And there's been people that have gone on to have like amazing, professional careers. Like I'm assuming Jordan, people like, Ali Lasher, and like, but people who they just happen to be like of college age helped me out with this. And it was a very fun time and a good way for me to like bounce ideas off of a group of people.
It was great. I was a freshman in my dorm room, looking up. I was assigned the Russell Hantz beat.
Yes.
And I went on. I was trying to find the emails that I sent you, tweets.
Wow. Could you get on the Brandon Hantz beat?
I think
you've been reassigned, Jordan.
Yeah. But yeah, I have a lot of Google Docs in my Google Drive still of random tweets. But yeah, it was just like honestly pretty special to like return to this community and see, oh, this thing has kind of grown in parallel to my life in a lot of ways, and I'm able to kind of meet back up with it and be like, oh, we're still on the same page, and it's just really cool to see.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing all that. Did you have a question or anything you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, I had two quick questions, and you can cut me off if I'm taking up too much time. But
your legacy.
One was about post 50.
Yeah.
About your thoughts on theming. Like, will it be like, has the number-based theming run out its welcome at that point? Will we return to 51, 52? Or at that point, does it make sense to go back to like themed seasons?
So I think that they should still throw in some themes. Like I feel like, going back to the last time I went to New York to go to one of these screenings, Brian Cohen of Ali Lasher's podcast co-host, that Jeff was doing some Q&A with the crowd and said, I think maybe Brian Cohen said like, bring back themes. And Jeff's like, all right, people want us to bring back themes. Give me 3 good themes and we'll give you a job working on the show. And so I think they feel like that they just do not have enough good themes, but I bet they have like 1 or 2. Like they could do, Survivor 52, whatever versus whatever. Like I think that like I don't think that the number necessarily is that you can't have a theme if it's a number.
Right. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like they fully committed to this era format of like have these 10 seasons that are like, it's just a number, there's no theme, it's no returning players. Like, will they create a sort of new format?
Well, I think Survivor 50 will have a theme, if I had to guess.
Right, of course, yeah.
And who knows what old school versus new school, or some sort of like whatever the theme is. I bet Survivor 50 has a theme.
Yeah. My other question. So I forget what podcast you were talking about it, but about this idea of all the personalities from RHAP sort of being a reality show in its own right.
Yes.
With all these characters, which I think is really smart. And at the same time, you're also making reality competition shows with Blood on the Clock Tower.
Yeah.
Kind of dipping your toe into sort of
RHAP the Traders. Yeah.
Using this pool of talent, both from prior players.
And we want to do more of that stuff also.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious, like it feels like there's kind of so much potential to do so much more in that space, but also that you guys have been very intelligently kind of like not overdoing it, just like
yeah,
one foot in front of the other.
It's hard that there's a lot of logistics, and Sam Moore says, we don't need to ever do it again. But I do think that there is something to it, and there's some excitement and some energy around it. We don't want to overdo it, and we don't want to just keep doing the same idea over and over again. But I'm definitely like on the lookout for more ideas that we can do as live reality games. Also, at the same time, though, feelings get hurt. Like people, like if there's any sort of like impropriety, it can be something that ends up like really snowballing. So we have to like try to make sure like we're doing them right. Also.
Yeah, totally. Well, they're great, and honestly, like the recent, the Traders, the Blood on the Clock Tower have been as or more entertaining than any stuff I've seen on my TV.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. All right, well, Jordan, good to catch up a little bit. Yeah, don't be a stranger, okay?
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All
right, take care. Bye. Oh, hold on. Let me go to Zach. Hey, Zach, what's happening?
Hey, Rob. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you too.
First time caller.
Yes, welcome.
I just wanted to say one thing, and I had a question. So the thing I wanted to say is I love how positive everyone is in this community, yourself included. I've seen a lot of hate on Reddit, towards Danielle and like all these things. And like, I'm a big Danielle fan.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to like listen to a podcast where people are just like supportive of the players and like, you can have criticism, but like not be a hater.
Yeah, Zach, I think that part of it also is, and something that I believe in, and maybe this is a little bit of a controversial opinion, is that I really feel like that it's a lot of the negativity comes from like the nameless, faceless people who can hide behind, I am Carolyn fan 97246. Danielle is the worst person I've ever, she's disgusting. I really am a big believer in, I love, and sometimes people have like a nickname or a handle, but, I love, getting to see people's faces, see people's names. And, it's like, because almost every real person that I have met through this reality TV world, like has been like really nice and I just think that there's something to when it's real people that you're dealing with and you're seeing somebody's face and somebody's like real name, it's much harder to just flame them and be horrible than, some of these other things, like with all due respect to Reddit that has its, great purposes, but like Twitter has become so much of that there's so many different social media sites where it's just not about actual people.
Yeah, that's a really good observation. I think you're right. And then I wanted to talk about, I've been a big Survivor fan. That's kind of how I got into this. I've been loving Traders and Dondi. I really want to get into Big Brother and Australian Survivor. But the problem I'm having is that the seasons are twice as long. So it's just a little harder to like get used to the pacing of it. Do you have any recommendations to like get my mind on it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just slow and steady. I think that you'll like come to appreciate it. It seems daunting before you start, but I think just like watch a couple episodes and see if you're into it. And then I think you'll know after a little bit, are you more of a Survivor person or a Big Brother person?
So I'm a Survivor person. I started watching when I was 5, Borneo.
Yeah.
So I have this like emotional attachment to it, but Big Brother I'm trying to get into in my adult life. So it just takes an extra step.
So I feel like that maybe Big Brother, watch it in the real time. I think that might be a little bit more of a way to appreciate Big Brother in terms of you don't have to watch all the episodes at once and you could sort of like see like all of the excitement around it, because the actual episodes of Big Brother are a little bit like whatever. I think that Australian Survivor is so well done. And I think that there really is a feeling of like old school Survivor in a lot of the Australian Survivor that I think you will appreciate. So I would say maybe jump into some Australian Survivor.
Okay, that's a great idea. All right, well, thank you. That's it. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Zach. Okay. All right, take care. All right, bye. Okay. I picked up Chris for a second here. Let me put Chris through. Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very good, Chris. Where are you at?
I'm in
an office.
Well, it's like a little cubicle where people are supposed to go to just like chill, but I'm just here because it's like probably the most isolated piece.
Yeah. Are you
To
chilling?
be in. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah, we're
I think
chilling.
that's chilling.
Yeah.
We're just chilling. It's just an Ask Anything.
Mhm.
So it's, I don't know. I just have only a couple minutes, so I'm just going to be brief into it. Have you ever considered doing a commentary for The Scorned?
No, I have not. Not since 2005.
Is it something you've ever like wanted to revisit at all? Because I was kind of looking up like old school stuff after like the whole going through like the RHAP and 15 years. And I thought it was one of those things where like, it's just really cool to kind of see like the old school Rob and like his old element, especially because it's kind of when you were in the production company.
Sure.
And
But so I'm not really,
I think I tried.
Have you seen it?
I've seen clips because I can't seem to find it anywhere where like online. Apparently you can order it off Amazon.
Yeah.
Which is ironic, I guess, considering your season.
Chris, but, can I just back up a step and tell people what you're talking about?
Sure.
Okay. So in 2005, I was in Los Angeles for the first year of me being out there. And the company that I worked with was called Creative Light Entertainment. And that we were working on something called the Fishbowl, which was like a project to try to repurpose reality stars, almost like, you know, hey, like these single-use plastics, you don't have to just throw them in the trash. Like we can be using this spoon that was you know, on Big Brother over and over again. And we came up with an idea to make a movie with reality stars. And the making of the movie was documented as a television show. And the movie that was made was a horror movie, and it was called The Scorned. And it aired on one night on E! And then was a direct-to-DVD release in 2005.
And personally, from the clips I did see of it, I didn't think it looked bad at all, honestly. It looked like one of those kind of like movies that even if you considered it bad, it's like bad fun in a way.
Yeah.
I hope that's not an insult.
No, not an insult at all. I feel like I'm just not especially proud of the film. Like I feel like people like I hold what we do up to like without taking myself overly serious. Like I try to make sure that what we do is like of a really high quality. I'm not particularly proud of like how The Scorn came out, and it was something that I think that we were trying to serve a lot of different end goals to try to make it be a lot of different things. And so I'm not particularly thrilled. So it's not something that like I feel like is like bad enough to be, you know, like funny. Let's go back and look at this. I'm happy to leave it in the past.
I see. I mean, I guess from like my as an outsider looking in, it's kind of like you look at kind of the age of like when all this reality stuff came around, and you kind of look at it as like a time capsule and not necessarily something for people to be judged on. As you kind of just have to look at it almost like in a character sense, where you just look at it as a show and not try to like bleed into it so much that you're like trying to just like get wound up about it. And that's kind of the way like I see it. I just think you're kind of watching people just kind of like find themselves or just make something out of something.
Well, Chris, I leave it to you you feel free. You can watch it. I just don't want to, you know, do a commentary.
Right. And I'll accept that. I may have already like sent it as an email to RHAP, so you can skip that.
I think it already came up on the mailbag for this week, and I passed on it there.
Okay. All right. So we're already
I was like, wow, a lot of people want to talk about The Scorn this week.
Yeah, I just haven't been able to get to the RHAP one yet because I kind of held off on all like the 48 cast assessments because there was just like so many podcasts to get to. So I kind of was listening to all of them this week and let it build up. So there's a bunch I haven't gotten to.
Okay.
But anyway.
All right. Well, Chris.
But I gotta go. I'm late on my lunch.
Chris.
But
okay.
Of course. All right. You have a good day.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Let me go to Tommy Guam, who's in the car. Okay. All right. Tommy is on location. Wait, are you driving?
Hey, Rob.
Where are you? Yeah.
No, I pulled over. You can hear me fine?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yes, Tommy. What's happening?
No, I had to pull over and get my tickets, Rob.
You pulled over, got your after party tickets. Yes.
I don't want them selling.
Yeah.
I don't want to take no chances, Rob.
We'd figure it out for you, Tommy.
I appreciate that, Rob.
You.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. I have to interview some people, but I get in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, maybe we could set something up. I'm going to be my wife. I don't want to set. Maybe next time in New York, we'll talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right behind me, Rob, is actually. I'll get out of the car. Give me a second.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Tommy Guam is taking us on the road. This is so fun. Also, when people call me and like we're out in the world. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to run over here. I'm going to leave my car running. Nobody's going to
Gary says, "Why is this such a great angle for Tommy? Look at this." Okay.
So right here, Rob, can you see this?
Okay. Tommy is running. Be careful on the ice, Tommy. Okay. And Tommy is taking me to a sign, and the sign says, "Original practice field of the New York Jets." There you go.
There you go, Rob. Yeah. So I wanted to show you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're a Jet, Rob, the Sharks are across the way
Is
over
that
here.
what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're in the frozen pond up there. Nothing. Just hanging out, Rob. I'm almost home from work, but like I said, I had to pull over and get my tickets, Rob.
Okay, well,
that's about it. I really have
happy
nothing
to
else
see
to say,
you
Rob,
in Boston. So it sounds like that Luigi's Pizza is going to be far away from where we're going to be at.
Yeah, I think Mel Hook is actually going to a watch party there, though, she said. So.
Oh, okay. We'll get the word from Mel.
Maybe she get some reports with her. It's cold out there, Rob, today. Woo. Oh, that's about it. Everything else is good.
It's cold out there every day. Yeah.
Yeah, you better grab your booties.
All right, Tommy. All right, talk to you soon, okay?
Have a good weekend, Rob.
All right, there you go. Tommy Guam taking us on a tour. Okay. Let me go to Mel. Okay. Mel, how's that watch party going?
Oh, well, I don't know if anyone else is coming, but I'm going to be there and my husband will be there. And Luigi said they'll have it on the TV. So,
okay.
I don't know.
How did they advertise this?
They didn't. I messaged them.
Oh.
I'm a stalker.
You said, "Hey, can I come to the pizza place on Wednesday night?"
I literally messaged Luigi's Pizza. I said, "Yo, I'm a huge Survivor fan. I am also a masshole. So I want to support Justin in any way. Are you guys going to be showing it? Lovely, love the shirt. Jealous. Like, is there a way I can get like a vintage one of those online or something? Yeah.
I'm
so
not
I
sure
just
we have it in the store. Yeah.
And then I re-messaged them again before the patron thing, and I was like, just to confirm, like, can I tell other humans in the area to come by? And they said, yeah. Because there's also like a bigger bar that does the Survivor games and stuff, but you got to pay for a ticket. And I'm not paying for a ticket unless it's to see you or anybody else that I care about. So I was like, I'll go to Luigi's, support a local business. It's in Revere. It'll be like an hour drive, but I don't care. So I thought that they would like be posting about it, but nope, they're pretty quiet on the gram. Maybe they don't have a large capacity.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna win. They don't want to put too much attention, or maybe this is the first one out and he's embarrassed.
Oh, well, if he's the first one out, he will become legendary. He already looks like Jelinski, according to Bryce. So
Belinsky, he said.
Belinsky, right. Sorry, my bad.
Ben and Jelinski's son.
Ben and Jelinski's son. Gosh, so his look is the greatest, I must say.
Yeah, we had fun the other day.
So
and happy birthday. Happy Bryce's birthday bash week.
Ding. Thank you. All right. Hold on. Sorry. I just finished my first sweater, by the way. That's what I'm doing. Anyways, my question, I want to talk about Australian Survivor. Is that allowed?
Yes. Okay. Australian Survivor spoilers ahead.
Okay. Noonan.
Okay. Spoiler warning. And probably skip ahead like 3 minutes if you don't want to hear Australian Survivor spoilers. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Noonan. Can we talk about the Noonan of it all?
Sure.
Because
I don't have that much to say about the Noonan of it all.
I know. That's why I'm wondering. Like, I love Noonan. She's clearly the tribe's narrator, and you just didn't seem that gassed up about her on the podcast with Shannon. And
her big episode was Monday, right?
Yeah. So Yeah. Also, like, did you ever consider maybe waiting till the end of the week for the you and Shannon one so that we have like time to digest the other 3?
Well, you can listen to it at the end of the week. That was just when they told me it was going to be recorded. So I had the trader. Like I think that Shannon wants to get everything out as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I probably could have recorded it Thursday, but we have everything with traders coming up on Thursday. So it's also
a you thing. So whatever.
Yeah. So in terms of recording with Shannon, like I have to record with Shannon either first thing in the morning, my time, and it's like midnight her time, or it's like 7 o'clock at night for me and it's first thing in the morning for her. So
well, no wonder like one of you is always like either like really up and the other one's a little like and it's like
so I come into these podcasts and I'm a little punchy. So you know, I hope that people didn't feel like I was like being too mean to Shannon or anything like that. I was really just trying to have fun. And maybe also was a little bit frustrated. Like, Shannon, I want to be on top of everything, but you've made too many hours of podcasts for me to listen to before I can podcast with you on Wednesday.
I mean, that's a true statement, but it's okay. I mean, I was like so surprised she did it in under an hour. I'm proud of her, but she's amazing.
Yeah.
So then Kent's gone. So like, you don't think like Noonan's she's probably going to get voted out as soon as they get to individual challenges.
I think I made her my winner pick.
You did?
I did.
I didn't even do a winner pick for oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know you're sad about Kent. How do we contact him to get him to sponsor RHAP things?
I don't know. I think the offer was I wanted to see if he wanted to buy RHAP.
Yeah, literally. Like, oh, you have all the money? Like, can you really not buy a spot on Survivor? Like, how hard is it to like call up Jeff Probst and be like,
I mean, I think that. So I could see American Survivor like having like no, not doing that. Australian Survivor, I can't see. They have 24 people, like, and they're always looking for money. Like, I don't understand.
I don't know. I love
like it's like, hey, I'll put up the prize this season. Just let me play the show.
Just let me play. Oh, it's so good. I mean, it's been a wild season. We've already had plurality votes. It's so good. And yeah, I just wanted to commend you I think it's sick having the rotating people for the 3 podcasts, because we get to hear like, you know, the different perspectives. Like Chappelle's a little cheeky and like Puya is like pretty strategy orientated. And then Mike White could talk a dog off a meat truck.
Mike Bloom,
sorry.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized season 3, it's the White Lotus. His name is Mike.
Yeah. No,
White.
that's been pretty good from the first season. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I just put that together. Although I did think that the air guitar was an actual type of guitar until I was 17. Like, you know, when you hear like the wee, 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 I thought that was an air guitar. But it turns out, you know, an air guitar is just a fake guitar made out of air. So, you know, we learn something new every day, Rob.
Yeah.
And I'll report back next week with how Luigi's Pizza was. And
definitely.
I'm excited.
Take some pictures.
Oh, like I'm not going to bring a film camera and document the entire thing, bro. Like, so excited. So yeah, if anybody's near Boston, you want to go to Luigi's, it's in Revere, named after the second best rider, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Have a great
take
day.
care. All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Okay. All right. Okay, let me go to Jen. Okay. Hey Jen, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's happening?
I didn't know if I'd get in today. It was a very crowded room.
It's a crowded room. Yeah. I didn't know if I was going to get in.
Yeah. Well, that's why
that happens. It's like you can't get in. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the traders.
Yes.
I'll get right to my question because I know it's busy. I was trying to think about what would be satisfying endings to me for this season.
I think that there can only be I think there's a couple. Okay, go ahead.
I have two options. I think so Danielle and Brittany winning together would be, to me, the most satisfying ending. That would be amazing.
Beautiful and poetic, and I'm not sure that that's going to happen.
I wouldn't put money on it, but I see a route. I see a direction. And
I called that the Thelma and Louise of them just riding off off the cliff. I guess that was not a happy ending, but maybe in some ways it was. Like holding hands going off the cliff.
I think that the path is, well, I don't know how the seer twist will mix this. I'm going to ignore that because that ruins all of my plans, my imaginary plans. But I think the path is murder Dylan now.
Yeah.
Immediately. And then somehow get to the end with Tom and Dolores. I think if they get to the end with Tom and Dolores, I think they win.
Yeah. I can see that.
Because they don't like it. It's very easy to get everyone to banish Tom at that point and then
to be suspicious to each other. Yeah. What do they do about Gabby?
That's the problem. Ivar and Gabby are the problem. I think you can get, I feel like they might be able to get Ivar banished somehow. Like,
I'm not sure about that. They might need to just murder him.
But I think they only have one more murder. And I think they have to murder Dylan. I think he's much more formidable. I feel like people at the end, or maybe if they get to the end with Ivar, maybe people will vote him out because they're like, this is a rich royal guy.
Yeah. I think that's
hard.
I'm not worried about Ivar in the end. I think they could sort of like snow him. I think that could be, with all due respect to Bowie Jane, I think we could get like, him getting like snowed the wrong direction.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if they can
if they could get it down to like Danielle, Brittany, and Ivar, then they're like, I think there's one more traitor. I think it's Ivar. He's got to go, Brittany. Yep.
Well, it won't matter at that point. At that point, they win. They already won. Right? Yeah. They can end it. If they get down to the end with anybody, they win.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter who it is. So, but the other like less satisfying ending for me would be that we somehow end up with Dylan and Gabby at the end. Any other like endings with Faithful, I'm going to be disappointed. So
I don't think we have to worry too much about maybe Dolores could sneak in there with somebody, but I don't even think so.
Because if they don't murder Dylan, they're crazy. It seems so obvious to murder Dylan. So
yeah, I just wonder if Danielle has a blind spot for him.
Yeah, I think she might. And I can see the Ivar murdering because he's so focused on the women, and it makes sense they're going to have to get him out at some point, but I don't know. How do you get past the Dylan problem? I think you have to murder him. I think it's like almost a Tony Wu situation. Like I think if they don't murder Dylan at the beginning of the next episode, I think that they can't win.
They're going to regret it. Okay.
Maybe one of them can, but then who knows with this seer thing? So maybe
I can't believe it's almost over. There's only 2 episodes left.
I know. I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. And I'm loving Dondi. And I was sad to see Will go. So I got won over after I was on here however many weeks ago being like, who is this guy? I don't like him.
Yeah. I thought that it was a dud Traders last week, but it came back in a really big way. And then I guess that the story is now, can Danielle finish the job?
Yeah. I think, get to the end with Tom and Dolores. That's my advice. But what do I know?
Okay, good advice. All right, Jen, thank you so much. Okay, thank you for letting me in earlier. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for letting us ask you things, I guess.
You got it. Thank you for asking me things. All right, bye, Jen. All right, let me say hello to Matt. Okay. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hey, Rob, doing well. How are things?
Doing great, Matt. What a great voice you have.
What? I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
coming from you.
Now. You heard it now.
Yeah. Wanted to come in, say thank you to you and the team, Derek, for everything you do. Going to a meetup in the Bay Area. Lisa organized it, just meeting a bunch of other patrons.
Cool.
Whole enterprise going well, doing the thing you want.
Yes. Okay.
All your vision to make it happen. So,
well, would love to get out to the Love You Bay Area at some point.
You keep teasing that you're going to do it someday, and so
yeah. I think that I'm waiting for I feel like that it'll be like a perfect time to do it.
Yeah, you did some 49 spoiling. 49 feels like it could make some sense for reasons. So
yeah, that feels like that tracks. That makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah. I think
Matt from Patreon. 49. Okay.
Great. Glad I fixed that for you.
Yes. So Matt, what else is on your mind?
Also wanted to talk Australian Survivor recaps with Shannon. I don't want to accuse you of being mean to her. I know you're just teasing, but you got to let her cook.
Let her cook. No, she's gonna cook. Look, Matt,
I know she's going
you
to cook.
think that I can control what she's doing? You think I can give her like a note, like that'll be followed? Like she's gonna cook. She's gonna do what she's gonna do.
I want it longer. Hour. Give me more. I want the whole thing. She's so good at it. Well, and I understand it so much, but it's all gold. How do you turn it down?
Look, I think that we probably do cater to the most obsessive, like, of the fans. Like, I wonder maybe there's like a compromise where it's like, hey, let's do the top headlines of the day, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll go through everything else. Like,
I totally understand what you're saying. Actually makes sense, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Because the obsessed people like me will listen to just Infinite, and that can't cater just to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Shannon lands in a spot where she's, most obsessed, Australian Survivor specific, and then Survivor 48 is a little more general for the casual audience on a comparative scale.
Yeah, I just can only relate to what my life is like, and it's like I've got a very busy schedule, like normally, and then somehow during my day I'm fitting in an hour and 20 minutes of Australian Survivor. And then on top of that, I got to fit in an hour of podcast.
That's right.
Like I didn't really have 2.5 extra hours in my day to dedicate to Australian Survivor today. Like I'm not like, maybe some people are like coming home from, watching it at nighttime. Like, you think my wife wants to sit and watch like Tight or Brains versus Brawn 2 Australian Survivor?
No,
like,
I do not.
I'm doing this in my free time. I'm
just saying, maybe you're prioritizing your time wrong. Like, I know you've got kids. Maybe like ignore one of them for a day. Like,
do you know what it's like? I'm like walking around the house, like holding an iPad. Like nobody talk to me. I'm watching a thing. I got to be able to break down this over the top minority vote split in great detail. Like, do you ever say to I'm sorry. Like, please stop talking. Like, what is it? What?
No, you're great. You're so busy. You have so much going on. Obviously, it makes sense that you don't have time to do all this.
I'm very blessed that this is what I do. It's just this week in particular, throw the Australian Survivor in with the Dondi and the Traders, and and everything else. And it's like I'm either podcasting or watching a show to do a podcast.
No, totally fair. I'm, again, not actually coming at you. Just had to defend Shannon as best I could.
Yeah. All right. Well, that duly noted. And Shannon, I told Shannon at the end of the podcast, and I told her in real life also, she does an incredible job. Nice. Nobody else could do for Australian Survivor what she has done. And she does, she's the perfect person to be running the Australian Survivor coverage, whether she takes my notes or not.
Right. Yeah. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, Matt, thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Bye. Right. Okay. All right. Let me say hello to Gary. Hey, Gary, how are you?
I'm doing well, Rob. I was just getting attacked by a box elder beetle right when you said my name, but
a beetle?
Yeah.
Oh my
Not
God.
Ringo. Oh my! I know it's drama in my life at all times.
What does your shirt say, Gary?
Oh, thank you.
The Golden Girls. Yeah.
For being. Oh, where am I? Oh.
Yeah.
I can't get to it, but for being a frond.
A frond. Yes. Okay.
Of course.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for that gratuitous stomach shot there. So last time I was on, I had a biopsy that day.
Yes.
And I do not recommend coming to talk to you immediately after, because I had been sedated earlier, and I kind of it was a lot. But anyway, I don't have cancer, so that's the good news.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of a rough period before that, but it's all good.
Happy to hear that, Gary. Thank you for getting back to us with the positive news.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being so kind about all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fran. Okay. Yeah. Well, Sam's telling me to wrap up, so I got
already.
No, I'm just kidding. All right. Okay. Let's get into
let him cook, Sam.
Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about Danielle, because we haven't talked about that enough. So Danielle talked earlier about being willing to go to the end with Carolyn, and but nobody, a lot of fans even questioned her sincerity. But but I didn't. Danielle, that's what she does. She picks her person, and she goes to the end with them, and she's fine if they win, and she doesn't. And it happened on All Stars and on BB3.
Yeah.
Do you believe her sincerity in that, or what do you think?
I think it's the relationship was broken. I'm trying to think back to when it was, and I think that, you know, that ultimately, like, I think if I was gonna like assign like whose fault is it, I think it's probably like 70-30 Danielle, but I think that Carolyn did not try to ever make Danielle feel like that she was a team player. Like, and maybe Carolyn was like too turned off that like, oh, Bob and Danielle are so tight. And she's like, they're not even listening to me. They're not even like, I think that, you know, if Carolyn like went, you know, that, and there's two of them. They both are at fault with why the relationship didn't work. But I don't think that Carolyn ever really opened herself up to Danielle, where Danielle said like, hey, this is my girl. I'm going to rock with Carolyn. Like, I think that she was always had a wall up with Danielle. And then ultimately after Bob went out, I don't know if Danielle unfairly thought that Carolyn was in on it. Like, hey, these two survivors, they ganged up on me and I don't trust Carolyn. I'm going to get her out of the game so I can get, like, I think that then when Danielle went after Carolyn to try to get Boston Rob out of the game, I think that was like sort of like the to quote a great man, like a praying mantis, the poison had entered the body, and it was a slow poison, but it was going to work eventually. It was the relationship had been poisoned, and eventually then Carolyn started to hear that. And Carolyn, I think, as somebody who, she does not forgive Carolyn. I think you cross her, and I think that's it. And she's not ever going to get over that. And, you know, it was just never going to work with them at that point.
Yeah. It started out promising when they were at the first episode. They were constantly together and before they found out they were traitors.
I think in another world where there was a different third traitor, where it's like, okay, here's Ivar is the third traitor, and Danielle and Carolyn are like, hey, we got to work together. Like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. You know, we need to, you know, and I think that could have maybe worked in another world, but Danielle, Bob was her person, and that Carolyn was just so turned off by that, I think. And then because she was not feeling it, you know, Carolyn, I don't think is going to really be great at faking it with people. Like, if she doesn't like you, she doesn't like you. Or if she feels some type of way, like, you're going to know about it. And then I think then Danielle probably, you know, incorrectly assigned some part of the Bob the Drag Queen thing to Carolyn. And then that was it.
Okay, I've been enjoying your coverage with Josh on Heroes vs. Villains.
Oh yes, thank you.
A lot of times in Stan Juan del Sur, there was correlation to that week's episode of Survivor. And what I found funny this week, when Rob interviewed Dr. Will.
I haven't even watched that yet.
Can I spoil one tiny thing?
Yes, please.
He said, or Rob said to Will, oh, you had a bit of, when he was like overreacting after that harness challenge, you had a bit of crybaby-itis.
Yeah.
And it was funny that you guys were saying that about
what did
Rob.
Will say?
He's like, yeah, maybe. He wasn't argumentative about it. He seemed to be really respect Rob and kind of a little starstruck. So I kind of loved that interview. It was cute.
Yeah.
Okay, one last quick thing. Lily didn't want me to talk about White Lotus, but can we please just like a quick thing?
Okay, quick thing. By the way, we did a White Lotus interview with Carl from David versus Goliath that we posted. I believe that's up, right?
Yeah, I heard. I didn't hear the whole thing, but I heard the majority of it.
Okay. And of
Really
course,
good so
Josh and I, if you're watching the White Lotus, Josh Wigler and I are covering the White Lotus over at WeKnowScriptedTV.com. Okay, Gary, go for it.
Okay. All right. We're talking about the monkey, the Komodo dragon, and then the poison fruit. I haven't heard anyone say about this. I'm sure they have, but I think that the poison fruit specifically, I don't have a theory for the other ones, is a metaphor for the brother partaking of the forbidden fruit.
Okay.
And that's as far as I will go.
Okay. All right. I could kill you. It could kill a person. That's what they said.
It's and I don't know if I can handle this season,
Interesting.
but anyway,
Yeah.
that's my theory.
Okay.
On that note,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's been fun to have it back
All
to
right.
the White Lotus.
Yeah.
Okay. Gary,
Yes,
thank
that
you
was a
so
good
much.
time.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for
Bye.
taking my call.
All right. Let's say hello to Erica today. Hey, Erica, how are you?
Hi, Rob. Guess what today is?
Guess what today is? Is it your birthday?
It is.
Yes. Oh, good.
I'm the big 50.
Yes, like Survivor.
Yes, it's so crazy.
Yes.
Shout out to Bryce, who's also a Pisces.
Yes,
I
his
love
birthday
Bryce.
yesterday.
Yes. The 21st is the best day in the month to be born, but 20 is good. And then tomorrow you have Shannon and
Puya. Yes.
also Pisces people. They're all good people. I love them all.
Yeah, this is a big birthday week on
Yeah.
RHAP.
Big birthday week. Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, I had a big surprise party on Super Bowl. It was exciting.
Oh, yes.
My husband, who can't, I'm the person that does all the managing of things.
He did
he
it?
threw this huge party, and he was praying that the Ravens wouldn't win because he thought, this will screw up my plans. But
Yes.
he bet in the right direction. So
He bet in the right direction. And he got you?
unbelievable. He's like, my wife is a CIA agent. So he was like deleting texts and all that. Yeah, it was
Wow.
unbelievable. I can't believe he got me.
Now, does it make you nervous about what he's capable of now?
Not at all.
Okay.
I mean, I thought, it's the big 5-0. He's going to do something. Let me kind of like turn a blind eye to he's capable of right now. I wasn't like looking, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me. Okay, well, anyway, what a great week. Great clips. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about it? No good?
I mean, you don't have like a salon you can go
Salon?
to? Yeah.
I used to go to Nicole is big on you have to go to a barber shop. But it's like it's expensive.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm not going to discuss it with you. I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah.
But I will say my husband makes me cut his hair, and I am not trained in any way, shape, or form to be cutting hair. So he's worse than
I used to cut my own hair during COVID.
Well, we all did, right?
Yeah. But probably for a while after that too. I felt like I was decent at it.
Okay.
And really the thing about me is
you were saving money, Rob.
Saving money. The thing about me is that for the most part, like 99% of like me being seen is like from this, that people, they don't see my legs. They don't see, like if I'm screwing up the back, nobody knows,
Who cares?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I wanted to get on here. I'm here. And I don't know, talk about the traders. And here's my big question, because back in the day, I'm an OG Big Brother person.
Yeah.
Dr. Will, I was not sad to see him go this week. I wasn't. I don't know. I mean, I love him, but David saying what he did, I was like, yes. Yeah. These production teams are making us feel a certain way. And I think too, because Danielle Reyes is also, she's like the Suri of Big Brother, right? I mean, best player to never win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You think? Okay.
I think so. I think that it would be cool to see some sort of like, I don't know what the format would be, but I would love to watch like Carolyn and Suri talk. Like, I don't know if they've ever seen any interaction with them.
I wonder. But last night I was devastated, and Carolyn's a new era player of Survivor.
Yeah.
I mean, I like her so much, and I know you guys talked about it early on the call, but why am I mad at Danielle, who I loved so many years ago?
Well, I think it looked like Carolyn was going to win. I think that it looked like Carolyn was gonna win. Like, first of all, I do think that there was a lot of reasons why that, like, it seems like that the amount of hate that Danielle is getting seems disproportionate to what she's done on the show, and I'll leave it at that from some of these internet circles. But
I don't hate her.
No, I'm not saying, Erica, I'm not saying you do. Because I thought that you said like, yeah, why do I feel this way? And it looked like, well, first off, like, I think we thought that Carolyn was going to win. And what a nice story for Carolyn this was going to be, for her to come to, you know, she was a finalist on Survivor, goes all the way to the end, and was discounted along the way, and got her flowers many times over during the season of like, isn't Carolyn doing a great job? Isn't Carolyn being such a great trader? So it really did seem like that Carolyn had it at some point. That is maybe not unlike the Baltimore Ravens, where it's like, what? This is their year. Carolyn is going to do it. And it really did seem like that Danielle like sort of had it like dead to rights. And to be fair, as I was talking about with Gary, like, Danielle is probably a little more responsible than Carolyn is in this relationship going sour. You know, that they did not know each other coming into this thing, like everything, all of the bad blood between them, it happened all like over the course of this season. Danielle had the, you know, not so great idea of, I'm going to get out Boston Rob, or I'm going to get out Carolyn so I can take out Boston Rob, which was probably the wrong idea for that. And I think that some people feel like, okay, well, she was like maybe, you know, had some, in addition to having some evidence, like maybe did some name calling of Carolyn, like the, you know, Forrest Gump, and said that, you know, she's, you know, acting stupid and silly or dumb, whatever it was that she said. So I definitely can understand why people would maybe hold it against Danielle a little bit.
Okay. I did pick up on something extra because Sharon Tharp, she's awesome. I know she's a friend of RHAP. I spoke to her at the live show. She's super nice. She had an exit interview with Sierra Miller.
Yes.
And Sierra hinted at something I think that some of these people are in on, is Danielle was swearing on children and grandchildren.
Yeah, I saw a clip of that also, that she swore on the grandchildren. Like, okay, look.
But like in a gamer, if you're a gamer, yeah, we know people do this. Tony did it, and Trish still voted for him. But like, I think these kind of like housewives and other
they don't know that stuff. And
they
look,
don't take too kindly to it.
Kudos to Danielle for like knowing that that's going to work with these housewives people.
Right. You know, us gamer folks.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Somebody on Twitter, and maybe it was Andy Herron, said like, hey, if you're upset about somebody lying about their grandchildren, like maybe you shouldn't be watching a show called The Traitors.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if that wasn't Andy Herron, then please correct me in the chat.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, that's what I have for you today, and hope you have a great weekend up in New York. Have fun.
Yes, thank you.
Back to us, please. Let us
I will.
know.
I'll have some good stories. So yeah, I'll just be gone like 24 hours. I'm going to leave tomorrow morning, and I'll be back Sunday morning.
Are you going to see any family while you're there?
You know, I'm really not. I feel bad to go to New York and then not go there. But my mom is coming to visit next month, so it just would have like really extended the trip like another day. And I have so much going on. I just really. I was like really on the fence whether or not I got invited to go to the 48 screening. And I'm like, oh, should I go? I have it's such a busy week. I have so much going on. Yeah. And I said, okay, well, I'll just go for one night and that's it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to guilt you or anything like that. All right, Rob.
All right, Erica, thank you. Okay.
Take care.
Bye. Okay. Also, I know we have been trying to get a patron 5 for 5 in this week. Unfortunately, we have not been able to get to that. You know, Nicole has sometimes. It's not a good night for Nicole. Sometimes Nicole's not feeling so great. And so ultimately, we have to end up punting on a patron 5 for 5. I am trying to get Nicole here to do the Survivor 48 cast preview. And so hopefully we'll get to that one of these next couple of nights. But Nicole still needs to watch the Survivor 48 preseason stuff. Okay. All right. Let's see. Who's ready? Let me go to Joey. Hey, Joey.
Hey, how's it going?
Going pretty well. How about you?
Life treats me well. Life is great, and I'm here. So yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to talk traders,
Yes.
and I wanted to talk a little bit about. I'm not somebody who's consumed any international traders or anything like that. I've only watched the US seasons, but of the 2-3 seasons of the Traders US that I've seen, I've definitely noticed a pattern in terms of successful traders versus ones that haven't done so well. And that's just the fact that traders who don't do well or get voted out early compared to the Cerise and the Phaedras of the world, they speak up first. And when it came to this last roundtable between Carolyn and Danielle, Carolyn was the one attacking Danielle. And I thought theoretically that, Carolyn should have had a much stronger argument, and Danielle theoretically had a way higher likelihood to go home. But I think there was something to the idea that, like, if you're attacking someone, it's like you're immediately on the defensive because you're on the offensive for seemingly no reason. And so I think Carolyn unfortunately sort of dug her own grave this episode, but I also do think if we're going to sort of reevaluate Danielle's game, I think that's a strength of it, is that she has been quiet and she hasn't felt the need to constantly attack other people, which none of the other traders this season have been like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So is it better to be on offense or defense, at the round table? Is that the question?
I mean, I was just sort of thinking theoretically, like not attacking people is something that the traders really haven't done much. Most of the traders and most people on the traders are over the top personalities. So I think there's definitely a lot of power to fading away in the background, especially for someone like Danielle, who is going to be, no matter how smart she is, she's going to be more underrated or less looked upon than someone like Bob the Drag Queen or Boston Rob. And I think that's part of the reason why she's still here.
Yeah. I mean, Danielle has not really gone after anybody at the round table. She's been very, passive at the round table and very like a more emotionally reactive and maybe is trying to maybe in some ways I think that like had Carolyn not been there, that maybe that people would have looked at Danielle as a little bit more like the Carolyn of like,
sure.
She's not capable of this. Do you see what an emotional wreck she is? Like she couldn't be a traitor. But I think that maybe by compared to Carolyn, she doesn't really get the benefit of the doubt with that. It does seem like that the effective roundtable strategy, and it didn't necessarily work for Derek in this season, was, and Rob couldn't get it done with Brittany, was to come in, make the case, and like prosecute the case against the person. And I think that then there ends up being enough people like, sure, that sounds as good as anything. I don't know. Like you're making a compelling case. And, if you can sort of like get the person on the ropes to some degree where they can't like really articulately defend the accusation, I think people are like, okay, sure, let's see if they're a traitor.
Yeah, I think there are two sides of that. I think it's, good to be on the offensive and like really present a case if you're trying to get somebody out specifically. But I think that also is not the strategy you want to implement if you want to actually get to the end of the game. If I think about Suri winning in season 1, she never really went on the offensive. She only spoke up when someone was directly going against her, which happened extremely rarely. And even in season 2, Trishelle and CT, Trishelle was definitely on the offensive, but CT was very quiet and didn't say much and just kind of listened and reacted if people put sus on him. So I think I haven't seen any international traders, like I said, so I'm obviously missing a key component or two, but that's how I've seen it. And comparatively, I think Carolyn, unfortunately, sort of dug her own grave, but it was really interesting to me, the parallels between this and Survivor 44 to me, which I thought were very close, honestly.
Which just the overall season where Carolyn goes on a deep run?
Yeah, I just found it fascinating, the irony of Carolyn being voted out, or being banished, basically because she's asking people to recognize her. The first time Danielle listens to her in the turret is when Carolyn's like, put me in the game. And then that, in turn, the first time the faithfuls really listen to Carolyn is when she's like, it's going to be me. I'm going to be the person most underestimated, even though nobody actually really felt that way. And that in turn led to like the heat that got on her. And the suspicion was basically all cemented by people actually listening to her, which I thought was fascinating and a really interesting character study of Carolyn as a game player and a person. When I watch these shows, I don't just watch it for the strategy.
I know you don't, Joey.
Well, sure, but I like to see it as like character studies. Like Brandon Hance has been in the news, and I think his run in South Pacific and Karamoan is a fascinating character study. It's not easy to watch. I don't think it should be, but it is a fascinating insight into his psyche and what goes through his head. And I think this is similar Carolyn's Traders game, and she was so wrapped up in how people perceived her and how people sort of connected with her and how she was listened to, that she at some point, like, she was talking to Dylan and was like, you know, you're like everybody else, you just don't listen to me. And I think that need to be heard almost alienated everybody else from her and led to her banishment, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah. Definitely exciting episode of the Traders last night. And, you know, I think you're right about these shows that they do give us, like, I know it's the edit, but I feel like that, you know, that there, you see things about a person sometimes, you really kind of like get their entire essence in these like very small moments sometimes. And I feel like that we got a really good understanding of Carolyn.
Yeah. One of the reasons I love reality TV so much is that even though it's all editing and, you know, we all only really get a microcosm of a person's personality, it's still a complete personality, which you can't get from real television. Like, the greatest written characters of all time are still characters. You know what I mean? But reality TV is real, and these are real people, and you can see their real dynamics. And that's why it fascinates me. And that's why I think about it all the time. And that's why I love talking about it, because it is.
And that's why we love hearing from you, Joey.
Especially when people return, like Carolyn or Brandon Hance, or even some of the more distinguished reality TV people like the Dr. Wills or the Boston Robs. You see those evolutions of themselves in real time, basically. And it's fascinating to me, and I love it. And and I thought this episode of Traders is great because Carolyn was so human, and you could see her quote unquote faults sort of bring her down. And I thought it was great.
Professor Joey, thank you once again. Okay.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye. All right. Let me go to Bailey. Bailey, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Very good, Bailey. What's happening?
Nice to see you. I just wanted to say hi. It's
Hi
been
to
such
you.
a great few weeks for reality TV.
It's really for a Survivor off season. Like, we really had like a really jam-packed 7 or 8 weeks here.
Yes, yeah, it felt busier than the Survivor season.
Yeah. It's going to slow down. Actually, no, the Survivor is coming back and the Amazing Race is coming back.
I know. So I love Carolyn and I love Danielle. So it's been hard all season. That they're so at odds, but so fun too. They were really great. And I hope Danielle and Brittany can take it to the end, but I don't know if they can.
1 week at a time. Let's get through episode 11.
Do you know how the seer is chosen? Is it like random?
I don't. I asked Puya about this yesterday, and he said that they win it in a competition, but I'm not sure exactly how that's decided.
Okay, well, I hope that doesn't hurt them. A general question about that. Like, I know Danielle and Carolyn couldn't because they weren't on the same page, but theoretically, could they have like recruited someone and then tried to banish them?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what Boston Rob said that he wanted to have done in the game, where that he said that if he didn't murder Derek in the time that they murdered Derek, that his real goal would have been to maybe, you know, get somebody else murdered, like a Danielle murdered, and then recruit Derek and then have him get murdered or banished. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that scapegoat theory, like in the future, could work. Even in the short term. So I thought that was interesting. And so I've been watching Jondi for Parvati, and it's growing on me. I think the cast is pretty good. The like
pretty good cast. Yeah.
I think like Seychelle and Philip and CK, like they're all bringing something. So that's
Seychelle
really
was very fun on the exit interview also with Chappelle and Jenny this week.
Yeah, she was. So that's exciting to me, and hopefully Parv can take that too. And then I just wanted to like shout out that it's been like such a great off season for RHAP too. Like there's been so many like new podcasts and stuff. So I wanted to like shout out like the Social Game podcast and like the Water
Andrea
Cooler podcast.
was on with Michelle and Kelly this week.
Yeah, I was so excited.
What was the second one you said?
What?
What was the second one you said?
The water cooler.
The water cooler with Bryce, of course, from this past birthday, and Puya and Liana, and Pod Friends.
Yeah.
Reality Flash.
Yes, and happy birthday, Bryce. So it's just been it's been so fun with all of these podcasts. So I wanted to mention that too.
Are we getting is it too many podcasts, Bailey?
No.
We don't need to slow down?
No, never too many.
Okay. Because I feel like you don't have to listen to all of them, but like just hopefully you're but people are having their favorites that they're excited when they're coming out.
Yes, agreed. So that was it. I just wanted to say hello.
Yeah. Bailey, thank you for waiting so long on hold.
Of course. Thank you.
Okay. All the best to you, Bailey. Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye. All right. Let me go to King Philip. Maybe I'll get the carrot today. Maybe I'll get the stick. Maybe both. King Philip, how are you?
Rock and Rob, good to see you. Good to see you.
Yes.
How you doing this week?
Yes. The Rock and Rob, that the name that Tony gave for me, he also does another thing, and he did this. I watched the video that Bryce put out for the Bryce birthday bash, and he refers to Bryce as "What's going on, Cat Daddy Love?" But I think he's said that it's like to Josh before. That's another one of the Tony nicknames, Cat Daddy Love.
Cat Daddy Love for Bryce. That's a good one for Bryce, though. I can see.
But I think he uses that for other folks too.
That's a shame. That's a shame because Bryce is my only Cat Daddy Love.
He's giving Cat Daddy Love. Yeah.
Yes, there's no other Cat Daddy Love than Bryce. But anyway, I'm going to keep it really brief. Only 20 or 30 minutes because I know Sam
Zippy.
is like zippy. So I'll keep it as brief as I can. I wanted to let you know.
You're good, Philip. Yeah.
I want to let you know to start the call that I'm doing a stupid thing right now. Like I'm right in the middle of doing a really dumb thing.
What are you doing?
I'm in the Discord.
Investing in Johnny Bananas meme coin?
Not that dumb.
Okay.
Not that dumb. Close. But in the Discord at 2:30 in the morning at my time, 3:30 Eastern, during Survivor Australia, I started going to the Watch Party channel and streaming Australian Survivor at 2:30 in the morning, Rob. It's 2:30 in the morning that I'm doing this. And there was 5 or 6 people that actually were watching with me. So I just wanted to announce that there is
You
a
were
Watch Party
streaming
for
it
Australia
live and you were in the Discord.
in the Discord. 2:30 in the morning. 3:30 in the morning Eastern. Why am I doing this, Rob?
I don't know.
There's 5 or 6 people that watched it, for the things. And
But you did it for you, or did we ask you to do it?
No, you didn't ask me to do it.
Okay.
I just did it, and I wanted to talk to somebody, so
Okay.
I just started. So I just did it.
Do you watch it live?
I do. I am because it's a stream.
Well, hey, if anybody's up at 2:30 in the morning.
It's on. It's on there. So anyway, carrot and stick. We're gonna do a carrot and stick today.
Okay.
Carrot. I think your Survivor AU podcast with Shannon was the best.
I saw your comments. You said it was one of the best in recent memory.
Oh my God. Oh, I can't. I cried laughing so hard, and Shannon, I couldn't tell if she was taking it personally or not.
I just think that she's such a good foil, and she it's so fun to and the best I could equate it to, it's sort of like a person that is ticklish, and it's like you sort of can get a big reaction out of them very easily. So. It's very fun for me, and I hope that Shannon or the listeners, because I saw one comment what the hell was this podcast?
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was really, really. I do the same thing to my 8-year-old nephew that I take care of. Great nephew, actually. I'm white beard and stuff like that. But it's the same kind of thing I do, and I can see it. And it's so fun. It's so funny.
Thank you, Phil. And also, I didn't have particularly hot or strong takes about everything, and I also felt like that that she's covered it in such great detail already with other people during the week. I could be just a little bit more off the wall.
Dude, your take on Shizzys and the fume, you can see her fume, you can actually see fire coming out her head when you were.
I did get a text from somebody who said, that is how they should be doing it.
That was so funny. That is so funny, dude. That's her baby. It's so funny. Anyway, it was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the carrot. That was great. Stick. I'm not going to be able to go to Boston. Not going to be able to go to Boston this year. I have to have a surgery.
Oh no!
So
everything okay?
Yeah, I got foot. It's a foot injury that
Okay.
I've been having for a while. So hopefully it gets me better, and then I can get cast on one of these shows eventually. So I'm not physically able
Which
to
one,
do any of these
Dondi?
things right now. Hell yeah, they make your bed for you. Did you hear that?
Yeah, they give you Diet Coke.
Anyway, they give you Diet Coke, make your bed. Yes, I'm gonna try and get on Dondi. Yes. That
Okay.
or Big Brother, or whatever
Yeah.
else that I could get on.
We got the Paradise renewal for season 2 this week, but I'm still waiting for the Dondi season 3 renewal.
It's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be there. It'll be there. So we'll and they got to cast me. I talked to them last year, but I just
For real?
didn't a couple they called me back.
Okay.
But well, it wasn't in a place to go.
Okay.
So it was bad. So
Wow.
anyway, my calls are always based on I'm going to try and wrap it up. I know Sam, give me a minute. My calls are always based on holiday. And you know what holiday was this month?
What holiday?
The last holiday we had was President's Day.
President's Day. Yes.
So I have some questions about President's Day. Okay. Not to keep it too political, but in honor of our reality star president, who's the biggest idiot to play any of these games? I'm kidding. We're not going to go there. We're going to keep it non-political. That's not my question.
Please.
That's not my question. That isn't it. But we are going to talk about presidents. And the first question I have is, who overcame the most to get the vote at the end of the game? And I'm asking for Survivor and specifically Big Brother.
Who overcame the most to get the vote at the end of the game? I don't know who had a late surge. Chris Underwood.
Okay, I didn't even think about that, but you win.
Yeah.
You win.
I think
I've got
he's
three of them.
voted out of the game. Like, he came back from the furthest down.
Yeah. I've got three of them. I've got Bob Crowley, Natalie White, and Chris Docker. Those are my three. I didn't even think about Underwood, but you win. You're absolutely 100% win. Now, what about Big Brother? Overcame the most to get the vote.
I think Taylor is probably a good pick. Dr. Will himself, I think, also.
I think both of those are great, and I forgot them completely. And I wrote Steve Moses.
Steve Moses. Yeah, that's decent. Ian.
And then Casey Clark.
Okay. I know Casey. I disagree on Casey. Casey was never even people were even talking about getting Casey out of the house.
Okay. I hear you on that one. So the second thing, the second question I have is, who led for a while but didn't bring it home? Who was the president?
Third question, Philip.
Well, that's two.
Okay.
I didn't ask that. The first one was a joke. We're not talking about idiots.
All right. So who led and what is the question?
Who led for a while in their tribes but did not bring it home?
Okay, a lot of people. I would say there's so many. The history of Survivor, I think, is littered with these types of people. You want who got the furthest? Who came the closest?
Or who actually was like a leader of the tribe? I'll give you mine.
Okay, all right. How about Coach?
Oh, that's a great one. That's a great one. Coach is probably great for Survivor. What about Big Brother?
The leader of their group that didn't win?
Yep.
Paul.
Okay. That's another one. I have Amy Cusack.
Yep.
John Carroll. Not Jesse in 40, what was that, 43? But Carla.
Oh, okay.
Carla seemed to be the one that kind of led the thing there. And Big Brother had Vanessa and Tyler.
Good.
Anyway, but I'm kind of I've worn out my welcome. You probably just need to get rid of me.
Okay.
I would boot me off right now. And it's good to see you, Rob.
All right. Phil, thank you so much. Okay. All right. Bye. Okay. All right. Old Chris. Chris, thank you for your patience.
It's no problem, Rob. Luckily, it's a pretty slow day at work, so I've just been checking my emails off my phone, so we're all good.
Cool. What's going on?
Good to talk to you. Sad this week for the traders. Was really rooting for Carolyn.
I know. We lost some good ones this week.
Yeah, Carolyn and Will. I came around on Will. I'm one of the ones that came around on Will a little bit at the end.
It was hard. They didn't show him having so much charm. Ultimately, it was a lot of like you had to be there. But I'm glad to hear that some people came around on him.
Yeah, but Carolyn, I think it's something we've talked about before. I talked about it when Wes got voted out a few weeks ago. Wes didn't have the sway at the table. And I think that's just what happened to Carolyn here. And it's kind of been the theme of her season. She keeps saying, and in fact, it's what people think may have doomed her game, is that nobody's listening to her. Nobody's with her. So when she's at the table, she doesn't, she wasn't able to get the support she needed to get the vote turned around on Danielle when Danielle started coming after her.
Yeah, Chris, I was saying on the podcast, I feel like that her game is really like one-on-one. Like she'll have you feeling like there's no way Carolyn is a traitor. But like I think in the group when she has to like be put like center stage, like that is not her best. That's not her like her strong suit.
Yeah, but we were, my wife really came around on Carolyn too. She's been watching the traders with me, and it's kind of weird. I watch it for the survivors and the challengers. She watches it for the RuPaul's Drag Race performers, and now we're all out of people to root for. So I'm choosing chaos moving forward. I am Sandoval in.
Wow. Okay.
That's where I'm at now. I think my ideal final three would be for either Brittany or Danielle to be there with Tom and Dolores, and the trader votes to, end the game. Dolores votes to end the game. And then Sandoval says, no, I must banish again. I know Dolores is a traitor. And then finally gets Dolores out and then ends up losing because there's a traitor in the game.
It would be a great finale episode.
It would just be the essence of Tom Sandoval. Because I don't actually want Sandoval to win because he does not seem like a great guy.
Yeah.
But I just
you don't get the money either way. Yeah.
I just love the chaos. I'm just happy with the chaos that he's bringing because I'd rather him be chaotic than be like Lord Ivar, who just kind of like
let me go make some tea.
Yeah, he's furniture. Nobody roots for furniture to win these games.
No, we do not. We want to be entertained.
Right.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Dondi been great. The Survivor pregame
Philip's
stuff
still there.
Yeah, our guy Philip. That my wife met one time at the library because she was running a program, so she's kind of reminding me. I've got her into all these, and I got her into the podcasts too. Now she listens to all your podcasts on Dondi and the traders.
Chris, bless you. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
we said like, hey, we need that everybody that's listening to the podcast is already subscribed to the podcast. We need you all to recruit your loved ones.
I can't recruit a trader, but I can recruit my loved ones.
Yes. Okay, I want to ask you about seducing your loved ones.
But yeah, just another great week of shows. It's just disappointing who went home, and yeah, let's just hope they can keep up this entertainment value because we're voting out all the entertaining people.
I know, but Survivor is going to come back on Wednesday.
That's a good point.
They got us to where we need it to be. Everything else is gravy.
There's no post season anymore, or that's all filled up with other shows now.
We might in June get a little bit of it depends on when Big Brother is going to start, but we might be a little bit like Survivor is going to end in May, and I'm not sure what is going to be filling that void.
Right. Well, Big Brother's my off season because I've never 3 times a week. That's a lot. That's a big commitment.
Yeah. So, okay.
But I'm gonna. You know what? I was thinking about maybe trying Australian Survivor. I can go back and watch the shows archived.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I mean you could go back and watch the old seasons, like not just this season for the patrons. Like, yeah, we have this season, but we have all the old seasons too.
Okay. Good to know. Well, I don't want to keep up too much of your time today because I know you got a lot more people to get to. But always good talking.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. Okay.
We'll be back for Survivor.
All right. Bye. Yeah, next week, Survivor Q&A is going to kick off 3 p.m. Eastern on a Friday. Let's talk to James, okay? All right. James.
Hey, Rob. How's it going?
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, no problem. Enjoying the other conversations.
Yeah, what's happening? Tell me about your shirt. Is this your company?
Yeah, so I don't know if you remember me. I was on Twish in the fall with Jordan and had a great time. So when I was on in the fall, I used my plug for my board game that was in development at the time. And happy to say that last week I just launched marketing for the board game.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is the board game. It's called Fishing for Compliments. It's supposed to be a very fun, wholesome, family-friendly
what do you mean
game.
it's supposed to be?
It is.
It is.
Hopefully people can take my word for it.
It is.
Yeah. And then this is the name of my company, which is Kane's Games, Kane being my last name. And super excited for what's ahead. If anyone wants to follow me, I'm at Kane's Games on Instagram and TikTok, and then on Facebook. I can drop the links in the chat.
James, the dice on your shirt, both of them are 3. Does that correspond to something?
Yes, very astute observation, Rob. So part of my inspiration to make the game and the board game company is from my grandfather. He passed about 10 years ago, but he was a very inventive guy. He was a creative guy, a chemist, really inspired me.
Yeah.
And he was born on March 3rd. And so to pay homage to him,
what a nice tribute.
Yeah, I know. If he was still around, he'd be very proud. But my maternal grandmother is still around, and she's very proud, and she wears this all the time. Yeah. And then I'd also be remiss not to mention that a lot of other people in the RHAP community have been amazingly supportive of me in this. Jordan Kalish, Tommy Guam, Matt Scott. So tip of the cap to them. As well.
Yeah. One thing about us, we love games.
Yes, absolutely. So 2 things that I want to bring up, Rob. One is related to Twish. I know you just mentioned that there might be a dead space in June. I would like to express my interest in potentially having a Twish Tournament of Champions.
Tournament of Champions
to help fill that void.
Okay,
would be awesome. So
all right, let's put that on the whiteboard.
Okay, so that's one thing, throwing it out there. And 2, related to what I'm doing with the board game stuff, curious if you have any sort of input or advice based on the early days of RHAP, for someone who's starting their own small business, and any key lessons learned from the early days of RHAP and good timing, and that we're, this past month, we're kind of talking a lot about the origins of RHAP.
Well, James, I don't have any great advice that necessarily is original to me, but I feel like that maybe something that I could share with you is you are going to make mistakes. You're going to get things wrong. I think
already have done some of that.
and I think that what you the ideal thing to do is to try to get things wrong and move through them as fast as possible. So I think that if you are just okay, I'm gonna try this. Okay, it doesn't work. Great, move on. Now I know that doesn't work. And if you can just eliminate all the things that don't work, eventually you're gonna stumble into a few things that do work. And we've tried a lot of stuff here, and so I think that just going back to Shane Powers, what he said, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1, just keep every single day working at your craft, and eventually you're going to figure out what the right thing is.
Yeah. Appreciate that, Rob. I think that lines with a lot of what I've been told.
Try not to make any big gambles that if they don't go your way, you're out of business. And other than that, keep making small bets, and eventually, take a few bigger bets and keep going, and don't stop.
Yeah. Much appreciated on the advice. I know, over the years, I've been a long time listener for 10 plus years, and I know everything that's been thrown at the wall with RHAP, and commend your effort to get to this point, and congratulations on 15 wonderful years, Rob.
Yeah, thank you so much, James, and I really appreciate everything, all your energy, and I can hear your passion in your voice, and so thank you so much, James.
Yeah, super excited, and I'm gonna hop off, but I'll drop the links in the chat to my socials if anyone wants to follow me. Super appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks for the time,
All right.
Rob.
Take care, James. Okay.
Yep. Take care. Bye.
All right. Let's go to Ben is next. Okay. Ben, how are you?
Howdy, Rob.
Howdy.
I'm all right. Yeah, I appreciate all the conversations I've gotten to hear so far as I wrap up my work day.
Cool.
And yeah, really appreciate James' insights. I had some very similar questions I wanted to get into. I mostly have one question and then one comment I wanted to
Are you
bring.
a business owner? Are you starting a business?
I am, I think I'm somewhere between a terrible entrepreneur and a really good volunteer.
Yes.
So depending on how people think about things, I love cooking up projects and getting into just chasing ideas. And then sometimes it's like, should this be a business? Maybe, but that would be a lot of work. But at the same time, it would be amazing if it was successful, which to you and James chasing things now and the 15 years of RHAP, huge congrats. I wasn't able to call him last week. But the question I wanted to ask, less on the business side of things, more on the people side of it, because the reason I relate to this is more around getting people together and finding third spaces and all of that is reaching back. And it's okay if you don't have specific to RHAP questions, maybe just some successes.
Okay.
What were some things that went really well for you around building the foundational community where the patron community started to come together when the early live shows started to actually maybe have this thing there?
One of the biggest things early on, we had like a lot of interactivity on social media from the start. And, we really like RHAP was born at a time that, Twitter was really like in its infancy, and it was not like the, all of the things that are there now. There were no bots. It was a very small and tight community. It was not wide Twitter. It was like you were very much like, talking to people that you mostly knew in real life, and then were following other people who were from Survivor. You'd be like looking them up and stuff like that. The place where the community aspect of this thing really jumped off was in 2014 when I created the Patreon, and one of the early benefits that we created was the patron Facebook group. And really for the first time, we were able to collect all of the people who were the super big fans of Survivor, many of whom had never really encountered anybody else who cared about Survivor as much as they did. And so for the very first time, we had all of the most passionate people who cared about Survivor, also the people who probably never met any other person who ever heard of Rob as a podcast. So they had this thing, hey, I've been listening to this podcast for 3 years, and I haven't had anybody to talk about it with. And it's like, okay, great. And now here's 100 people that are all the same, 200 people. And that I love the community so much. And that's my way of sugarcoating that it will never be as tight as it was like in the very beginning. The first
a huge challenge.
100, 200, 300 people, that it would just be all day long of there'd be a post and there would be hundreds of comments of people just talking to each other, and people got to know each other ridiculously well on all sorts of different levels. And that we had to create an off-topic Facebook group because people wanted to talk about so many other different things. So I'm not sure ultimately, I guess you had asked about early, successes. And that was really the very first thing of getting the Facebook group for the patrons was really where then we were able to do a lot of things. Like when we won the podcast award, which was a fan vote, we were able to really, now we had this organized group that we were able to, hey, let's all to have a gamified objective of let's go win this award by us all voting every single day. And we had a lot of things that, the group was able to accomplish. And it's hard to keep up that intensity over such a long period of time as the group has. There's over 3,000 people in the patron Facebook group now. It's very hard to, stay intense and also get bigger. And that's one of the harder things. And, you know, I love to do things like this where I can have more one-to-one interactions with people that, you know, but other people can enjoy the content and listen to these conversations and watch the shows. But it is hard to, you know, get that same feeling. I think it happens at the live show. Like you get into a room and there's like 700, 800 people. It's like, wow. And you're seeing people from that you've met before, but anytime we can, you know, get the community all going in the same direction, it's always an amazing thing.
Yeah, two small observations for me before I get to my quick comment. And I appreciate Sam. I know ops is like so hard, and something I love to do behind the scenes is like the people, they value it because they have the buy-in. So like it's like, hey, let's create this thing together. It's been a group effort. And just a small comment. I know you put out in a recent conversation, like it'd be nice to have a home that wasn't Facebook or Discord.
Yes.
My like quick take on that is I think it should just be like the Rob has a website with like more social functions embedded and more the ways that there's, again, a space for everybody within the RHB community with all these tabs that Discord and Facebook has. I think some version of that a smarter, more capable tech person could do is my quick tip for that.
I've been taking some calls during the week, and really, I think that the thing that really is most appealing to me is something that is probably most akin to like a message board that ends up being, you know, completely about all the different like RHAP shows and podcasts where people can, you know, go there. And it's really just a place that's just for us. It's not we're not on like a Reddit where there's people like popping in from other things. It's only for people who care about RHAP.
And like you mentioned, just like with scale, it becomes much more complex to manage. So I appreciate that. My quick comment is a Paradise/Traders comment. I know you mentioned with Puya last night, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a show you haven't watched yet.
Yes.
As a carrot, as King Philip would say, to offer you, Sterling K. Brown is one of my favorite guest stars in an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I won't spoil when it is, but if you ever do get around to it, thought that might be a nice little crossover.
Can I watch it with the kids or it's inappropriate?
I haven't watched it recently. I'd say probably not. Maybe get 2 cents from someone in the live chat. I think it's one of those like, you know, PG-13 type of shows, right?
Yeah.
There's not like overt violence or, you know, adult topics, but there's like loose innuendos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually it goes over the kids' heads.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Appreciate it, Rob. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Ben. Okay. Bye. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to round it out. We got Bobby and we got Stefan. Okay. Bobby, how are you?
Rob.
Yes.
Hi. How are you doing?
Doing great, Bobby. What's new?
Well, they're cutting down all the trees in my backyard.
Why?
Because they're building an apartment complex.
Aren't they always?
Aren't like Orlando. Yeah. But I'm the main character of the world and everything's about me and my nostalgia. So I couldn't get over Daniel Reyes. My first ever episode of Big Brother was the finale of Big Brother 3.
Yeah.
And so the whole room was like screaming. Like I got into Big Brother because my best friends' moms were really into Big Brother and they played pogo games online and like smoked cigarettes. And I thought that was glamour. So
I don't know what pogo games are, but
it was like a website where you could play like canasta, jungle gin against people online. And I was like, that's glamour, live feeds, video games, smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee. So really excited to see Danielle Reyes do what she does. And I love when people do what they're supposed to do. Like I think we got Carolyn's function from the Traders. And I have a Carolyn comparison.
Yeah.
This is who I would have voted for if I was on the jury of this season on Survivor. Sherry Beefman. I think like that is I think there's
Sherry
actually
Beefman is Carolyn.
I think they are way more similar than, and I round up for Sherry. So that's why this doesn't sound like maybe everyone else is like gasping, clutching pearls right now. But I'm like, if the game is going well for her, she's on top. If it's not going to go well, and if she doesn't even want to play with some people, there's some people she won't even consider entering a game.
Yeah, I would say that they probably that they have some similar characteristics, but I just think in terms of like their personality type, I think that Sherry is like kind of like an alpha lady in that she is a business owner. She had like 5 like Taco Bell franchises. Like with all due respect to Carolyn, I don't see her like running a franchise restaurant.
No, but there's a sharpness to Carolyn that
no doubt. But I don't think that that's like she does not have like the I wouldn't see her like organizing and running a company.
That's I guess, but I don't know. But I don't know about Carolyn there. But I thought we got so much good out of the traders. I thought the Australian Survivor was really good. I'm really glad that all the reality shows are really hitting this week because I don't have trees in my backyard anymore. But I was gonna say, for Survivor 48, public display of winner pick. I have to, I think, now go David Kinney is my winner pick. Bold casting choice. Feels like a gentle caress against my face to see such innovation in casting and bold strokes, may I say.
Yes.
But I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see what someone who doesn't know what Jeff Probst's last name brings to Survivor in 2025.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's really all I have to say.
Only 5 days away, right?
I haven't watched a single preseason thing because I feel like it's gonna hurt instead of being enjoying.
Why?
Okay, so I've made this comparison before. There's a musical called the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, and there's a woman who's moderating it. And throughout different points of the spelling bee, she's like, "This is my favorite moment." And it used to always be the preseason, but there's something about 48 where 47 hurt me too much. They were just too boring for me. I can't. I hate that anytime I see praise for 47, I'm kind of like, that's not for me. So I'm glad everyone enjoyed it.
Okay.
But
I think you're going to say that like I don't like the preseason because I fall in love with the characters and they go home and I'm too sad.
I create narratives. I did this I'm getting a 44 vibe from 48, if I'm being honest, which is like not good. But I crafted a narrative of Jam versus Matthew. And when that didn't realize, I was really upset when the whole season, I didn't get what I wanted from like two gay mafia bosses meeting at the merge. That's like what I fantasize, like the barbershop owner and
honestly,
owner.
like you probably weren't far off that like, like if he didn't climb on the stupid rock, like it probably would have happened.
I know. I can't. I actually can't because I had to watch the season that occurred after. So I feel like if anyone really enjoyed that one, I'm sorry, but sorry if I sound really negative. But I'm going in bold, but I haven't been able to really watch things. But that being said, there's always someone on a season that I would throw away my game for, and they're always kind of like the butchy woman. And so Star, I hope she wins. I just hope she wins.
Okay. All right, Bobby. Have a great weekend. Good luck with hopefully they save some of the trees. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks,
all right, Bobby. Take care.
Bye.
Okay. And then Stefan is here. Stefan, how are you?
Hello. Am I last today?
You are last.
Wow. Bringing it in for the finish line. I'm honored.
As I like to say, the closer.
The close. Oh, I'm the closer.
The big
okay.
finale.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. Not the glue guy, but the closer guy. Is that kind of
the showstopper?
Yeah. The one that's like, okay, it's time to go home, everyone. And everyone's like, yeah, this is a good time to go home. Yeah. But I just wanted to say that I really appreciate you and all the content that you've been producing. And you've mentioned a few times, where you've asked people, is it too many podcasts? Rob, I will always make time for you.
Oh, thank you, Stefan. Yeah. I'm happy to hear that it's not too much because I'm like a little bit like, okay, are we cannibalizing ourselves or are we stopping ourselves from
I actually feel like you're taking advantage of all of the talent that you have. And everyone's kind of like, it seems like a lot of people have their own little thing going. And I totally agree that Shannon and you podcast, like just the hilarity of it all just sort of came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. And like, I love like when you're like so blunt and like that high energy, like, and you were just like going at her and she's such a great sport. And I love Shannon. She and I have like DM'd over the years and like, she's become a great friend. And so like, absolutely hilarious. Just like, I don't know. It's just like, you kept going with the chizzy stuff. And I was just like, what is happening? It was hilarious.
Yeah, and maybe if I had more takes about the show, like maybe I would have like had like a little bit more of a nuanced discussion. But I really was just like, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed the big moments, but I didn't have a ton of like in the weeds strategy stuff for Shannon. So I was more, just having some fun.
But we can let our hair down, I guess, with Survivor Australia.
I feel like I can be a little bit more loosey goosey. Where if I came in like that on a U.S. Survivor podcast, people would be like, "Okay, why are you being like this?"
Right. No, I can understand from your perspective, like I guess that certain amount of pressure from the US version, right?
I'm a little less afraid to offend. Like if I piss off Nash and he's like, that's it. I'm probably never gonna meet Nash in my life. But if if there's somebody who is like, now I'm gonna like a US Survivor contestant that's feeling like Rob has a problem with me and like, that it's a whole thing. It's a whole, I've been there.
I can only imagine.
Yes.
The many plates that you need to spin with all that. But like, I think with at least, I feel like Australians in general seem to have like a really good sense of humor about things. I'm sure they loved it as well.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, with all this content and like you're traveling all the time and it seems
not
like
all the time. Yeah.
Well, I was just exaggerating, but like you're a very busy guy. And you're like an incredible family man. How do you kind of take care of yourself?
Oh, that's that's a challenge. And again, I don't want to take too much credit for being great with my family. I do feel like just in terms of if I was going to do a self-evaluation, I think that I am a prolific podcaster. And I think sometimes I am just getting by in other areas of my life in terms of being a husband, being a dad. And it's, an area that, I really feel like I should be spending more time there. And, it's hard. I try to make up for it on the weekends when I can, but especially during the week, I'm really kind of all in on the RHAP stuff during the week. And then, I don't need a lot of downtime, and I sometimes can get that downtime in terms of I can watch something for work and also be having some downtime also, and having some self time. But if I'm not getting time for myself, I think that I'm also not as good at my work or taking care of my family.
Right. Yeah. And I completely understand that. I grew up with a father who's actually works for CBS. So he was always really busy with the, in the media and stuff. And I understand that lifestyle. But it seems I don't know, you kind of bring Nicole into the podcast. It's wonderful. And I support you. And I think that you should also give yourself a little bit of compassion.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't beat myself up too much on things. It's just that and then this week.
Of course, there's always things we can do better. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, this has just been a challenging week in terms of just having a very busy schedule. I probably took on a little bit too much this week, and then also that everybody being home all week has made things harder, not easier. Also, that my kids being home for 72 hours straight has really also put Nicole over the edge. And so, it's, she's looking at me well, why aren't you doing anything? These kids are driving me crazy. Why aren't you? Oh, you just get to come and go as you please, and you just get to podcast and work all day. But I'm doing the hard job.
Rob, I became a therapist 3 years ago, and I was a professional clarinetist for a long time, performing at the highest level in orchestras, going for it really intense. And since I became a therapist, I've learned something about couples that it's okay. Usually communication is the number one issue, pretty obvious. But what I've learned is that the divvying up of chores is huge number two. Divvying up of work but in a couple is a huge issue that I was wow, that wasn't really on my bingo card as a huge issue, but yeah, I understand now. I get it.
Hey, I'm no Akiva over here. I'm cleaning the kitchen. I'm loading the dishwasher. I'm unloading the dishwasher. Like I do all my own laundry. Like I am like 100% like self-sufficient. I buy my own groceries. I cook for myself. Like I require zero caretaking on really for for Nicole, just get the kids through the day and keep everybody alive till the next day.
Exactly. Well, thank you for everything, Rob. And Sam is saying we need to wrap it up. So
okay, all right, yeah, we got to get into I got another podcast at 6, and I got to eat dinner. So
yeah, eat dinner. Go eat dinner.
Thank you, Stefan. Okay.
Okay. Have a great night.
You too. Take care. Okay. Bye. All right, Sam. Do we miss anything?
No, I think we're pretty good. We're already about like 75% of the after party tickets sold. So get them quick.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sam. All right. Appreciate everybody checking out the show tonight. And we will hopefully be back with our Nicole's preview of Survivor 48 at some point in the near future. I really appreciate all the kind words today. I really thank you, everybody who calls in and says such nice things about the podcast and what I get to do. I really appreciate it. And I hope I'm not complaining too much about things. Like this is truly such a labor of love for me of getting to make Rob as a podcast. And thank you so much for making that happen. So thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.